This. Okay, so tonight we have a special guest on tonight. It is Miss Ashlee Heger. For those of you that don't know, Ashlee, those of you newbies, Ashlee is my upline. So I'm excited for you guys to get to know her. I'm going to interview her tonight. Ashlee actually did not enroll me. She is actually two uplines ahead of me, and she pretty much has adopted me since probably about 6 months in. So I'm so excited to have her on tonight, and I think you guys can learn a lot from her. So get ready to take some notes. We are going to get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Ashlee tell a little bit about her journey, when she got started, and then we will go from there, Ash.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. So, I want you guys to know that this team does not go unnoticed. You guys are blowing up my e-suite every single month. It's so amazing to see all the lives you guys are changing. It's so crazy. You guys are doing awesome. So I'm Ashlee Heger, Triple Diamond with It Works. I've been with the journey a little over 4 years. And how I got started was I became Facebook friends with a lady that we met at a wedding that we went to. And so we just became Facebook friends. And then she started posting about this crazy rap thing. And I was like, what is this? So I asked her a couple questions and I talked to my husband about it and left it alone. But I just couldn't get it out of my mind. So one morning before I went to work, I didn't even tell my husband, but I just signed up. I thought, $99, what the heck? I didn't set up an auto ship because I didn't know it was important. I didn't set up a website because I didn't know I needed it. I just knew nothing. The upline was in Michigan. So I signed up. I went to work. I posted on Facebook, like, who wants to tighten, tone, and firm? And it blew up. So from there, I just kind of ran with it. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to host a party. I didn't even know how to rap myself. So I was partying 2 or 3 times a week. I was able to, in my first month and a half, I purchased 3 booster kits and then a spa kit. And for those of you who don't know, a spa kit, I don't even know if they still have it, but it's 25 boxes of wraps. So I was just wrapping people, and I remember my upline called me and said, do you know how to do a wrap party? And I'm like, there's a way. Like, I was just going to go and start wrapping people. So background about my upline, the girl who I actually signed with was only in the business for maybe 2 weeks after I joined. There's a girl above her who is no longer in the business. There's Kristen Samuelson and then Denise Walsh. So we are super close to the top of the organization, which is so awesome. So when I need something, I go to Denise. So we have her at our fingertips, which I think is awesome. So when Denise kind of seen that I was signing loyal customers and buying all these boxes of wraps, she reached down to me and was like, who are you and how can I help you? So she just kind of grabbed me and said, okay, you need to get on team calls. You need to get to any events that are that I post about. And she just kind of took me under her wing. Whatever she told me to do, I did. So I was on a call with her, and I remember her saying, you can make $8,000 a month with this business. And I thought, what the heck, I'll give it a try. At the time I was working a well-paid position. My husband worked. We weren't really financially stressed, but my job was very stressful, micromanaging boss, and I just left there exhausted every single day. So I thought, well, maybe this is what I need to be at home with my son. So I went to work. I completed the steps to success every single month. I didn't look back, one foot in front of the other. I was able to go diamond in 5 months, double in a year, triple in 2 years. My husband is also a double diamond under me. So I was able to quit my job in about a year and a half. We became foster parents in that time frame as well. So we were bringing foster kids into our home. We've had 4 placements. Our 4th placement we've had since she was 5 days old, and she officially became ours in April. So that's kind of our journey in a nutshell. We're super excited to see what the future has in store for us. We're ready to rock October and see what it does for our team as well.
I love your story. I have it like memorized now, but it doesn't get old every single time. I'm like, oh, here comes the $8,000 part. And then I'm like, oh, here comes it. And I love it. But I love that because it goes to show how much you share your story, and that's how well I know it. So I love it. And I love hearing that. Okay, so I wrote down a couple questions. I wasn't gonna do questions, but I kept thinking of things as you were talking. So I am gonna ask you a couple. So
Okay.
the first one, that since you mentioned it, so you talked about a little bit about what It Works has done for you. So you quit your job, you stay at home with the kids now, you brought in a little foster girl. Will you go, and I know a couple other things that's done for you that I can think off the top of my head. So do you want to share a little bit about what It Works has done for you and your family since you've been in?
Oh my gosh, I could go on forever about this. The first thing I remember back to was when I was wrapping all those people. We had a envelope in our bedroom that I would come home and put my wrap cash in, and it was like if we needed something like a little extra or fun, like I wanted to get my windows tinted, I just went in and grabbed the cash out of the drawer, and that was huge. Just to have that little bit of extra. So I quit my job. We've done, let's see, probably $25,000 in upgrades in our home in cash. We've paid off our student loans full. My husband has more guns in his gun safe than ever before that he would never even think about having if it wasn't for It Works. And we travel more than we ever have. We are able to say yes to our kids when they need something or want something. We just went to Billings for like 4 days. Colt was able to take time off work, and we don't even think about it. We just go. And I think the biggest thing is when they called me that day to take in a 5-day-old foster baby, I didn't have to second guess about daycare because kids can't go into daycare until I think it's usually like 6 weeks or something, until they get their shots or something. So, a lot of people can't bring in newborns, and I was able to say, yes, I want her. Like, bring her. Like, I'll come get her. So, that was huge because I didn't have to decide, okay, can I balance work and the baby and daycare and whatnot? Those are just some key things I can think of off the top of my head. It's just freedom to live our life. And Cole used to work so he works at the school. So every summer he would go spraying weeds from 5 a.m. till late at night, hot weather, come home exhausted. And now he summers off, like just to do what we want. So those are my key things that I can think of.
Awesome. So another one that I was thinking about as you were talking about your house, and that was such a big one that stuck out for me as you guys were doing so much to your house, is that you do live in a small town. So you live in a small town, but you're a triple diamond. So do you want to talk a little bit about, because I know there's some people in here that do live in a small town and may think that, it's saturated, or, how can I work my business when there's no one here? So how do you work your business, and how have you built your business?
Okay. Yeah, I am from a small town. And pretty much everybody like there's 3 towns together, but in my town, pretty much everybody knows like Ashlee's the It Works girl. Like she's the green girl, like that's her thing, So pretty much everybody knows in my little town. But I use Facebook to my advantage. So when I started this journey, my son was 6 months old. So every lunch break, I was on Facebook, and at night when I was feeding him in the middle of the night, I was on Facebook. So I really tried to reach out to other people that I had met throughout my life. My husband is a wrestler and wrestling coach, so he knows a lot of people. And so I was just trying to think of like anybody I could think of. So I like to think back to Callie, who's actually in between Allie and I. And Cole has been family friends with him forever. And I didn't know her super well, but I knew her enough to say like, hey, have this awesome opportunity. Like, you need to jump on it. And she did. And that's how Allie came along. And so it really only takes one person to change your business entirely. Like, I have a presidential diamond underneath me. Like, holy cow, how do you know, like, I think back, how does that work? And the same thing with Janelle, another leader that's in Tri-Cities. I didn't sign her. I signed a friend here, and she signed Janelle. So um, it's really just about networking, making new friends, reaching out to people, because you never know when that one person is going to sign that one person who's going to sign that one person who just gets it. So I like to say, like, even if you sign a distributor who tries really hard for 3 months and signs one distributor, you never know what that one distributor is going to do for your business. So don't ever, ever let distributors go. When your team signs somebody, you reach out to them and you say, like, hey, I'm here for you. Let's make this happen. So I just worked. I worked all the time. I remember my cousin was saying, like, oh, me and my husband were home for lunch and we were just sitting there relaxing, watching TV on the couch. And I thought to myself, like, what? On your lunch break, you just relax? Like, that just wasn't me. So just work. Every time you have a spare minute, work, because I guarantee you it'll pay off.
Yeah, and I think about this a lot. I mean, it's a short-term sacrifice for the long-term investment, and it doesn't take much. And I will never, and I've said this to you guys, I think like 10 times since I've been home from Atlanta, but I can't get it out of my head what Mark said, Friday night. He said, you guys, give me 2 hours a day and I'll give you a 5-figure paycheck a month. And I keep thinking that, and I'm like, gosh, he's not asking us to work this business 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours a day. He's saying 2 solid hours of work and I'll give you 5 figures, and I think about that and I'm like, we have 24 hours, you guys. Like, what are we doing with that? So I love that you said that. Just work, when you have a spare minute, work, but work intentionally, So now that you've kind of talked a little bit about what it's done for you, you've kind of talked about you're from a small town, you work at social media and, reaching down, and that's layered leadership. It goes a long way with that. So I love how you brought that up. Now, with that being said, we both don't have our uplines close. So how, and I know that's a lot of people's excuse, and a lot of people say, well, my upline's not close, my upline's not near me, how do I work my business? Well, Denise Walsh is in Michigan and we're way over here. So how would you say, and I see you, Ashlee, 3 times a year, and so how would you say, for you to not, make your upline an excuse, or how would you say for somebody on here that may say, you know what, I need that guidance, I need that one-on-one time, I need that face-to-face time. How would you tell somebody or give somebody a piece of advice and say, you know what, you don't need your upline close to you? What would you say?
I really think the biggest thing is, if you join this business and you want it, your why is strong enough, you're going to figure out how to make it work no matter where your upline is. So, with me, I stay connected with the team page. And at that time we had team calls. We didn't even have Zoom. So we just had team calls. And Denise does layer leadership. Like, she mass trains. So I took it, it's my responsibility to get on the things that she was hosting. So I just did it. I just got on her calls. I follow her. I complete the steps of success, like she says. I'm on the corporate calls. Like, there's no excuses. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just normal. To me, it's normal to not have my upline to come and hold my hand to do a party, to hold my hand to host a training. Like, that's just stuff that I had to do. That's stuff Allie had to do. Like, I wasn't there to hold her hand. She knew what she wanted. Her why was strong enough to keep her going. And she just said, you know what? If I want this, I have to do it. And I think that goes for whether your upline's even right there with you. Like, if this is strong enough, you're going to figure out a way to make it work. So, and even with, okay, so let's think about Denise for a second. She's an ambassador. Oh, excuse me. She's a Black Diamond. She has an ambassador spot, and she's working on going presidential in her third spot. So think of how many distributors are on her team that are saying like, I need you, I need you, I need you. Like, there's just no way that she can be everywhere everyone wants her to be. So that's why she mass trains. So I don't have somebody every day reaching out to me and like, do this, Ashlee, like, you got this, come on. Like, I don't have somebody holding my hand. Allie doesn't have somebody holding my hand because I'm working with my team. So it's just like, if you need something, you have to go to your upline. We cannot read your mind. Denise can't read my mind. So she knows that if I need something, then I'm going to go to her and ask. If I'm having a bad day and I need to pick me up, I'm going to go to her and ask. I don't wait for her to say, Ashlee, okay, you need to do this today. Same with Allie. All of this training and like craziness that Allie does for you guys does not come from me. Like, she has it within herself to help you guys. And that's the same thing you need to do. You need to say, you know what? Like, I'm going to rise to the top, and I'm going to do this by leading from the front, from training from the front, completing my steps to success, and just working. Just work.
You know, I love what you said about Denise too, though, because, you know, she is busy and she has so many people under her and so many leaders that need her time and attention and all of her people that she enrolls. But if you send her a text and you say, hey, I need to talk, I need a coaching call, guess who says yes right away, you guys? And so that's something that, I mean, even with Ashlee, she'll send me a message and she'll be like, hey, can you talk? I'm like, yep, drop it all. What do you need? And every time I say that to her, she's like, yeah, I'm putting the kids to bed, but I'll call you right in just, you know, a couple seconds. But that's exactly what an upline is, you guys. We are here when you need us, but we can't read your mind. And I think I love how you said that, you know, that you are in this for yourself, but you are never in this by yourself. And as you go throughout this journey, you'll realize that, you know, if your why is strong enough, you will do anything and everything to make it happen, regardless if you have somebody there or not. And I think I was just thinking about that. I'm like, oh my gosh, we both now have uplines near us. And so I love how, you know, you mentioned that, because when you create that close community within your own community where you're at, you know, and building those relationships within your smaller teams, it's going to turn into what this is right here, you guys. It's going to turn into those Tuesday night trainings, you know, in Seattle, in Montana, in Oregon, wherever you're at. So if you create that community with where you're at, and then we get to create that community with our team Zooms on Sunday nights. And that's why I love our team Zooms, is that it brings our whole entire team together for 40 minutes, you know, one night a week with our crazy schedules. So the next one,
I just want to say one more thing. When I was if I was having a bad day, or maybe like something happened where like I was just kind of bumming around, Colt would say, go to your room and call Denise. And so I can guarantee you almost that what you are feeling right now, your upline has felt before. Or if she hasn't, the next person above her has. So know that what you may be going through can be completely normal. Feelings are normal and they can be changed. So you have to reach out and figure out how to change them. You can't sit in that stagnant spot and just hope that you can get out of it. Like, you have to do something about it. So figure out who that person is that you can call, that, you know, when you walk out of your bedroom, you're going to be a different person. And that's exactly what happened. There was times, I will admit, that I wanted to quit, and Colt's like, no, you're not quitting. Get in your room and call Denise.
Oh my gosh, I can attest to that 100%. I mean, I don't know how many times you guys, like, and it doesn't matter, you guys, what rank you are or how long you've been in this business, you still struggle. And there's still days where you're like, oh my gosh, you know, I want to quit. And then you're like, okay, put yourself together, you know, get over yourself and call your upline, because, you know, that's exactly what I have to do and exactly what Ashlee has to do. But I have to tell you is that you're not in this by yourself. Don't go through this by yourself. Don't go through the struggles by yourself. Don't go through the hard days by yourself, because I can promise you we've been there, or we've been through it, going through it, anything like that. So don't ever hesitate to reach out. The next thing that I want to go over, Ashlee, is conference. And okay, you guys, so you guys know, most of you guys know a little bit about my journey, how it really took me, I mean, I got started, but then I kind of went backwards and then went kind of a little forwards and then backwards and all over the place. Well, Ashlee told me to get to this Seattle boot camp. It was 6 months in, and I was 5 months pregnant at the time, and I thought she was absolutely crazy. And she was like, you're going to meet Denise Walsh. You're going to meet, I don't remember what her name was. It was a Montana leader. She's like a presidential, I don't remember. She's not in it anymore. But you kept saying, you're going to meet these leaders, just come. And I'm like, oh my gosh, whatever. So I went. I just remember feeling just so overwhelmed, and there was just so much there, but it was so like addicting that you couldn't get enough of the energy. You couldn't get enough of the people. You couldn't get enough of what there was there, that once I went home, again, my mind wasn't there yet, but I knew, I was like, I got to get back to another one of these events. So then Ashlee said, she goes, you got to get to conference. Conference is where your business will change. Conference is where things click. Conference is where, your, passion for this business, your love for the company, you'll understand corporate. And you guys, I delivered Nixon the first conference, first year that I was in. So conference. So Ashlee was in Florida. I'll never forget this, texting me as I was like laying in the hospital bed having Nixon. And she's like, you have to be here next year. I promise you, change your business, change your life. And I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I didn't. And you guys, I can tell you till you're blue in the face, get to conference. Ashlee can tell you till you're blue in the face, get to conference. But what we can tell you is that we can't give you the feelings or what you're going to experience unless you're there. So Ashlee, I want you to talk a little bit about conference and what your first conference did for you.
Okay, so for those of you who do not know, I'm super shy. I don't like to really leave my house. I do not travel by myself, especially without my husband or my family. So when Denise said you need to get to this, well, time out. So the first event I went to was in Seattle. I took my mom and my son with me, and they stayed up in the hotel room. So when Denise said you have to get to conference, Ashlee, and I'm like, it's all the way in Florida, it's all the way across the U.S., I came up with every single excuse in the book. And then Janelle, who lives in Tri-Cities, I had met her through It Works. We both decided, okay, let's go. I was terrified. To this day, when I leave my family, I still have anxiety through the roof. That's just crazy. But I got there, and I was sitting in the back of the room. Denise was at the front, and I remember sending her a text that said, and I really wasn't going to come to this. It completely changed me as a person. I am completely different friend, wife, leader, It Works person, whatever. Like, it completely changed me. And I remember when Denise was telling me this, I'm thinking like, this lady's crazy. How? No, like it can. There's no way. But it really does. It is so life-changing. And I know that corporate events changed my business and my team's business. So I have to get there. Even though every time I leave, I'm stressed, I have anxiety, like I cry probably more than I am not crying, like whatever, but I always come home and say like, yes, I needed that. So know that if you're scared and you're just unsure about it, that's normal. That's okay. Like, get with 4 or 5 of your team, carpool there, whatever, fly there, share rooms, whatever you have to do, like just get there. If you guys can start saving right now and everybody travels together, it's so much cheaper. There's so many ways. I mean, we were right by a Subway, so I think we ate Subway how many nights last year, so yeah, like you can make your trip pretty inexpensive. I think the biggest thing for us are flights because we're so far away, but just get there, start saving right now, and just make it happen, because your business will never ever be the same when you get in that It Works room and feel the excitement. It's something that can't be explained.
And that's exactly it, you guys. Your business will never be the same. Never, ever, ever will be the same. No one team, one mission. I don't even think It Works you. Nothing can compare to what It Works or what conference will do for you. And honestly, when you walk in the room, that's the biggest thing, is the feeling that you get, the overwhelming rush of, I am in the right place at the right time. You're like, oh my gosh, this is insane. From the music to the speakers to the after parties to the recaps with Denise to the luncheons to the at work store to those of you that were there last year to the Taco Bell drive-thru at like 3:30 in the morning. You won't experience that at home. I mean, we just have so much fun, and the craziest things happen at conference. And like last year, I think we had like 5 of us in a room. I don't know. It was just the craziest thing. But those are the things that you're going to remember. And so this year at conference, what I can say is buy your ticket and we'll figure the rest out, you guys. So either if you pay it the full price or you buy it in a 3-payment option, just buy it, because I can promise you, going to conference, you're going to say, okay, that's exactly why they told me to go. This is exactly why I didn't miss it, and I'm going to be there. So, okay, Ashlee, is there anything else that you want to add in about conference before I move on to the next thing?
The only thing I was going to say is, and I know they went over this on the corporate call tonight, but you get 3 wrap rewards. So that's $300 cash. So that pays for your conference ticket. So get your ticket, get your wrap sold, and then, like Allie said, worry about the rest later. So corporate is really giving us like a no-brainer, I think. Like, just get your ticket.
Absolutely. So, okay, so moving on, our last thing that I want to go over before we open up for questions is, so getting distributors started. So there's some newbies on here tonight. What would you say, we have our Ruby bonus out, there's so many bonuses and it's overwhelming, and, there's a lot going on right now with our holiday packs, our Ruby bonus, Emerald bonus, Diamond and Above bonuses, conference tickets on sale. What would be just some tips, I guess you could say, to kind of take this in and just work, Ashlee? Because I know what I would say, but I want to hear more so what you would say, and tips that these guys could take in and use for this month and the rest of the week.
Okay, awesome. Yes. So the first thing, log into your eSuite and do your training academy. Do your hundreds list, print your steps to success. And with that, I say, now go get 4 loyal customers. Don't worry about anything else. Just go focus on 4 loyal customers, because it can be so overwhelming. And I'm the type of person that if I have too much, then I'm like, no, I just need, like, give me 2 things to do and I'll bust those out. So go get your 4 loyal customers. And I think what a lot of times happens is people reach out, your newbies come in and they reach out to 4 people and they maybe don't get a response for those people. So they're just like, okay, nobody's interested. But you have to be consistent. You have to continue reaching out. You can't stop at 4. Jade Hooper said, I was consistent for 60 days. And on the 61st day, I woke up to 5 messages in my inbox. And she said, that's when I realized that, okay, I'm doing this right. I just have to be consistent every single day, messaging people every single day for this business to work. So just try not to get overwhelmed with the bonuses, conference, the cruise. Like, there's just a lot going on. So just step back, do your 100s list, your training academy, print your steps to success, and go find your 4 loyal customers. And that's what I tell my newbies. Just go find 4 loyal customers. Another thing I like to get newbies to do is host a wrap party. And a lot of times I'm finding that they're not local to me. So I'm like, okay, let's set up an online party. And at least that gets, their foot in the door. It gets their name out there. And they can let their friends know what they're doing. So that is so important. And I think that that's huge to do within their first 2 weeks. So those are just a couple things. I mean, there's a lot of things that I could go over, but to keep it simple, those are some things I recommend. And something I do on my team page is every time somebody new is added, I send them a welcome message and 5 key things to do in their first, few days. So, and another thing I'll do too, my personally enrolled is say, okay, maybe on Friday I'll say, okay, here's the link to the training academy. Go in there, and I'm gonna touch base with you Sunday night and see. And that's when you're gonna know real quick if you have people that really want it. If they don't go in and do the training academy, then maybe they're not quite ready. But the people that are go in and do the things that I tell them to do, I know, okay, this person wants it, and I need to be connected with them 24/7 to ensure that they know their next step.
Yeah, I love that. And giving a task firsthand, you're going to find out, if they want this, if they don't, if they're wanting to, this is a priority to them or it's not. And then you kind of know how to train them and work with them and kind of see, what color personality they are, honestly. And that's something that I've been doing a lot is I'm like, okay, is she a yellow, a green, a blue, kind of really trying to figure out what they are. So I know how to work with them, getting to know them a little bit more. And I love that you said, for a new distributor, your first goal is 4 loyals. Don't worry about the rest. Don't do anything else until you sign that first or that 4th loyal customer. If you're signing distributors first, great. I mean, that's awesome. But our first goal is those 4 loyals. So you be qualified for the $500 bonus. And then you can go from there. Those of you that have been in this business and you're eligible for the Emerald, the Diamond, the Double, the Triple Presidential Ambassador, the biggest thing that I can say, and I know, Ashlee, I'm going to have you give a tip on this too, is know what you need. Know what you need, know where you're headed, have that chart out, know all the way down to the volume, to the distributors, who's taking care of what. And this is something that I've always been taught, by Ashlee and by Denise, is know exactly what you need all the way down, not just your personally enrolled, not just your top line, but dig deep within your organization and know who you're working with, know who your runners are, know who your walkers are, know who's really, who really wants this, you guys, because like Ashlee said, you can have a rock star on your 10th level and not even know it. So you've got to reach down and talk to everybody and build that relationship within that layered leadership and knowing that, okay, everybody's touching bases. We're going here, we're going here. Promotions don't happen by chance, you guys. They happen by choice, and they happen by, having a plan, because if you fail to plan, you're going to plan to fail. So those of you that are going for Ruby and above, know what you need, know where you're headed, and print that chart out, have your steps to success out, and have that roadmap all month long of what you need and where you're headed. Ashlee, do you have any tips on that for the Rubies and above on here?
I typically know when somebody's going to promote, and that's because they are talking to me every single day. I look back to my promotions and I think, like, I was talking to those people every single day. We were updating volume every single day. We knew, okay, like, this is one more system. This person needs 3 more boxes of wraps. It's, I even had a leader one time go and put all of her distributor ID numbers down, and then, 8 hair, skin, and nails would equal that. Just figure out what exactly. So when she got a hair, skin, and nail loyal, she knew exactly where she was going to put it. So if you are going for a promotion, you should be speaking with your team and your upline every single day and have a game plan. Okay, you're doing this person, I'm doing this person, you're doing this. Have a roadmap. Like you said, promotions just don't happen. Like Ali said, you have to be working. So, I like to say, claim it right now. Have your chart with you everywhere you go. Look at it every single morning. Pull up your eSuite, update your volume. Even if you are like, okay, there's no new loyal customers, I'm not going to update my volume. Update your volume, because you never know when somebody's loyal customer on the 5th level goes in and makes a random one-time order for 200 BB. Update that volume every single day. And I think that's the biggest thing. Actually, Spar and I were talking about this when she was doing, she promoted 3 diamonds in 1 month, and we talked every single day, numerous times a day. So promotions can happen. It's just a matter of getting it in your mind right now that it's going to happen and not stop working until the end of the month. Another thing that's huge is people will wait until the 25th to try to decide if they're going to promote. Don't wait till the 25th. Decide right now that you are going to promote and start working every single day like it's the last day of the month, because we know how hard we worked when Mark announced the $10,000 bonus. We worked our tails off. I told Cole, I don't think I've ever blitzed this month much in the last 4 days than I have in the last 4 months. So if you work now, today, like it's the end of the month, it's going to pay off by the end of the month. Some people have to watch us for a while. Some people have to be reminded 10 times, like, hey, remember you're going to sign up as a loyal customer. Where are you? And then like randomly they're like, okay, yeah, I'm ready. So work super hard and start it right now. And when I say work super hard, that's different for everybody. For some people, that working super hard might be 15 minutes in the morning before they get out of bed and 15 minutes at night before they fall asleep. For some people, that might be an hour in the morning and an hour at night. Some people, that might be 3 hours. Like, everybody is different. So when I say work hard, I'm not expecting you to work 8 hours a day or 12 hours a day and put your life and your family and your friends on the back burner. Like, we are doing this business for friendship, fun, and freedom. And don't forget that. So if one day you can only work your business for 1 hour, that's okay. But the big deal is that you work that 1 hour super intentional and you get stuff done. You put distractions aside. You tell your family, look, I am out of commission for 1 hour. This is only my It Works time. So just remember that we're not expecting you to work 24/7. We're just expecting you to work really hard when you can.
I freaking love it. And I'm going to say two things really quick because we're going to get cut off. Ashlee, you are absolutely killing this Zoom. I'm so freaking proud of you. Number one, this is not the Ashlee from like 2-3 years ago, just so you guys are like a whole different person, leader, rock star because of this business. So I know I have like 5 other things that I wanted to interview you on, but it's not going to happen because you were just amazing and just absolutely killed this. But those of you guys that have questions, please post them in our team Zoom so Ashlee can go in there and answer them because she can see them in there. So I don't mean to cut you off, but thank you.
No, you're fine.
So much, Ashlee. We have the recording, you guys, so if you want it, I'll shoot it out to you. But seriously, you did amazing. We have like 10 seconds left. So just want you to know how much you were appreciated and loved on this team. And I thank you again for doing this for me because you rocked it.
Thank you so much.
Yes. And those of you guys have questions,